Good morning, everyone. I'm Aristiva, and we're here to conduct an interview to Sir Simpson for the compliance of functional English, together with my group mates, Loli Nodalo and Clarence J. Tokalanti. So here is my question number one. How did you become a teacher?
Right. Well, first of all, my course in college was Bachelor of Science, major in mathematics at Cebu Normal University. And at first, actually, I did not want to become a teacher, but probably fate, I am destined to become a teacher. So my first job actually was in ESL, English, second language for Korean schools, and then I became a class creation. And suddenly, my relative here in Camotes Island was hiring for a math instructor at CPU San Francisco campus, and that's my teaching journey started. So I applied for it, and after that one, since I got to experience teaching with college students, I felt a different kind of happiness and fulfillment in my profession. And I say to myself that this is really the job or profession that I really wanted. And after that one, since it's just a part-time job, I tried to apply for the public high school. And currently, I am teaching now math still at Cristiano Guillermo Senior Memorial National High School. And I think this is really the profession that I really wanted, and I will retire as a math teacher here in Cameroon. So that's how my teaching profession journey started.
Thank you for the wonderful answer, Mr. Simpson. So, second is, what are your strengths as a teacher?
Alright. So for me, personally, my strength to my student is a good disciplinarian also. That's one thing. And a good motivator to students. Actually, in LBRS MNHS, there are some students that are, let's say, difficult students. They put it in my class because I can handle it. So I really like students who are difficult, actually, because when I was studying in elementary and high school, I was also a difficult student, and my teachers, all of them are having a lot of patience towards me. So I'm just paying back.
Thank you. So third is, so since we talk about your strengths, could you tell us your weaknesses?
Well, basically, as a teacher, you have your own strengths, and of course, you have your own weaknesses also. So me, as a teacher, probably my weaknesses is that sometimes I tend to become a perfectionist, and as much as possible, I will want my students to learn every topic. Okay, and to the point that sometimes it gives me stress, and it gives a lot of pressures to students. And mathematics is a very hard subject, and according to research, actually, in a class, only 5% are interested in math.
Yeah.
But as a teacher, I would really want that all of them will be interested. So being perfectionist would give a lot of pressures to students, and I think that it is a weakness because pressure would give them stress also to students. Aside from that, sometimes only I lose my patience to students, especially if they don't listen or they are like noisy. So as a teacher, sometimes you need to have a lot of humor also, so that once you can get the interest of the student, they can actually listen to you. Right? So I think
That's very true. So fourth is, May I know how do you manage your time to get all your teaching duties done within schedule?
Right. Well, as a teacher, you need to be a good time manager also. So you make sure that all your tasks are being done on time. And to do that one, you should have your management skills and techniques, personal, making some notes, jotting down all the tasks that are due, and making sure that you have a planner so that you would not forget all the tasks that is given to you. And also, you have a family, you have other things to do also. So just try to budget time and don't sometimes it's good to procrastinate, but most of the time, don't procrastinate things. So do it right away.
Um, we all know that parents are the stakeholders to follow up their child. Sometimes they complain. Right? How do you interact with them?
Right. You're right that parents are our beloved stakeholders, and we should treat them with utmost generosity, and we try to interact with them kindly. And we should try to make sure that we could cater all the things that they want for their child. First of all, during our days or during day meetings, we will try to deliver the academic performances of the students. And further complaint also, of course, we have a due process for the complaint. So first, it will be handled by the advisor or the subject teacher for that particular matter, and we will try to make sure that they are given time to explain their complaint, and we teachers would always let them understand the what is the let's say the gravity of the complaint, and we will take appropriate action for that matter so that their complaint will be addressed.
What's the biggest challenge today's students face? Right.
For me, the biggest challenge that we are facing right now, since we are now, can we say that we are now after the pandemic time, and most of my students, I'm a grade 8 advisor, most of my students, they have their last face-to-face classes when they were grade 5, right? And for 2 years or almost 3 years, they are having modular distance learning, and there were no teachers, okay, that discuss their every topic, and so it's a kind of they are still adapting, okay, the new normal type of education, and during their modular distance learning time, there are some students actually that they don't have competent tutors, so they are having a difficulty right now. So teachers would make extra effort, doing some extra miles in teaching, maybe, especially mathematics to students. 1 hour in a day is not really enough. So during their vacant time, what I'm doing here, during their vacant time, during lunchtime, and during their free time, we try to have a little bit tutorials and some discussion on the topic we have discussed in a day, and by that, hopefully we could cope up with the lessons.
Okay, thank you, sir. Could you give us the specific scenario? You can say that it is your first day in class, right?
So worst day in my class.
Yes.
So there was one time I had this student. He was always absent in my class, but suddenly he was present during that time. And then suddenly they have a brawl at the back. they fight with his classmates, I get mad. I get angry, and I try to stop them and scolded them for their actions. And suddenly he was crying. He went home, and then after that one, by tomorrow, he brought his mother in the school and complained to the principal that I was like choking him, but I wasn't choking him during that time. But I scolded them though. So what happened was the principal, of course, get my attention. I go to the office. That was my first time going to the office because of that particular complaint, choking the student. But later on, of course, truth prevails, and we have a lot of witnesses. Their classmates telling that I did not really like strangle or choke that particular student. So, you know, as teachers, you really need to be very careful of your action. Sometimes it will be misinterpreted, and there are students also that would, if they are mad at you, they will be telling you anything just to, just to get you reprimanded by the principal. But just luckily again, truth prevails, and it was found out that students are just lying. So anyways, the student and me nowadays are in good terms already, as well as the parents. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
In a class, there are a few students that are very difficult. So how do you motivate them?
Alright, so as a teacher, you should be a good motivator. You make sure that your students are always motivated to go to school, and they should always have something to look forward to. And for me, what I do to my students to let them be motivated in class is I tell them inspiring stories about students who become successful and professional right now. Sometimes I tell my own experiences to students, especially those students that are difficult, because I was once a difficult student, and my teachers are motivating me also to always do good in class. And aside from telling my students about inspiring stories about my personal experience, people that are successful right now, from rags to riches, I also give them some trivias. Giving a trivia as a springboard to students, somehow they get interested in the class, and somehow they are motivated. And another thing, because there are really students that are very difficult, and sometimes they don't try to listen to you. So what I do is during their free time, I do pep talk. We talk one-on-one and ask them about how they feel in school, who's their problem in school, why they're acting like that. So that's one thing also, pep talk, one-on-one conversation with the students that are difficult. So I believe those things, those techniques of mine would somehow motivate students.
What do you like the best about it?
Alright, well, when I was still studying in college, one of my instructor was telling us, you know what, class, teaching is a noble profession, and it's like an investment to have. So that quote or that message from my college instructor before, when I was still studying in college, has given an imprint in my heart and my mind actually, and I totally believe that one. So yes, aside from being a noble profession, it is really an investment to have an that's what I really like best about it. So aside from that, also influencing the students and being part of their success in the future because they have been influenced by you. That's one thing that we can be proud of. And a simple gesture of thank you by the students give us a different kind of happiness that money can buy. So I think that's one of the best feelings of becoming a teacher.
Of course, teachers have their own teaching style, imparting the knowledge to their students. So, what are some of your best practices?
Personally, I can say that I'm just an ordinary teacher, but I'm always trying my best to impart my knowledge, skills to my students as much as possible. All the things that I learned from the trainings, I could somehow give it to my students. So some of my best practices, maybe I can say, first is I use the latest or different math applications. I try to incorporate ICT to my students because the new generation of students that we have right now would always want that we will be using some gadgets or other ICTs in the class. Okay, having also a very nice presentation for your visual aid, like gamified, let's say gamified application. Okay, recently or currently, right now, maybe me and my wife only are using this module app that are being installed in the cell phones of the students in LDR. So I can say that those are some of our best practices that only us are making in LDR. And students actually would not have those like of bad papers for their modules, and the teachers don't need to print it because it is already in their cell phones. And aside from that one, being a good, let's say, you have a good persuasive power to students. That's probably the one thing that one of my best practices. You can always persuade, or you could always make sure that the students will always listen to you and learn a lot of things from you. Right, so I think that will be some of my best practices.
It has been a good time hearing your experiences in this interview. Thank you very much for sharing a lot of information about how beautiful teaching is. We are grateful and we deeply appreciate your time. It was a big help for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome. And thank you very much for trusting me. Have a good one.
So, okay, by the way, this is Sir Carl B. Singson.
A grading advisor from Luciano B. Ramos Senior Memorial National High School.
So, thank
Thank
you
you.
for watching.
Yeah. Good talking to you.